I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. The wine we're tasting now is the Mosswood Ribbon Vale Vineyard Elsa Sauvignon Blanc 2019 from Margaret River. So the backstory to this particular wine is that Mosswood, which is one of the most famous Margaret River wineries, of course, which was established in 1969 in the Williap region of west of Margaret River. Just down the road a little bit from them, the Ribbon Vale Vineyard was established in 1977 by, if memory serves me correctly, Ian and Arnie Lewis, who were not young at the time, and it wasn't terribly long before they wanted to sell it. And Keith and Claire Mugford, the owners of Mosswood, came up and took over that vineyard and did quite a bit of work on the vineyard, I think. The vineyard provided some grape varieties that they didn't have at Mosswood. So that was back in 2000, which is 21 years ago now. And it's taken them quite a long time to produce this wine. They have been making Sauvignon Blanc and I think some Sav-Sem blends from this vineyard before, but this is the first time they've decided to do something really different with the grape variety Sauvignon Blanc. So they've fermented it in barrels, they've kept it on its yeast lees, they've been very minimal in the way they've handled the wine and trying to let the grapes express themselves to the full potential. And they've come up with this kind of barrel fermented style Sauvignon Blanc, which owes a bit, I guess, to white Bordeaux styles, more white Bordeaux-ish than Loire Valley-ish in my opinion, because it does show some quite nutty oak characters on the nose. Like the Mosswood vineyard, the Ribbon Vale vineyard has never been irrigated. I think this was always an important thing to Bill Pannell, who established Mosswood, and it's an important thing to Keith Mugford, who runs the place now. And yes, concentrated fruit is what they get, low yields of concentrated fruit. So, how does this wine taste, this Ribbon Vale Vineyard Elsa Sauvignon Blanc? Elsa, by the way, is the name of Claire Mugford's mother, so it's a bit of a tribute wine. So let's have a look at it. It's got a straw, medium full straw colour, quite a lot of colour, which sort of reflects the fact that it's been made in barrels rather than stainless steel tank. And the nose has got a lot of nuttiness to it. It's got really complex barrel ferment characters. So there's the nuttiness and the smokiness of the oak, but there's also the lemon, passion fruit, guava, kind of almost tropical characters that come through on the nose from the fruit itself. This glass is quite cold. The wine is quite cold, but the more it warms up, the more the fruit will become more expressed, and the oak will perhaps be less dominating when it warms up a little bit. So I wouldn't suggest tasting this wine straight out of the refrigerator. It doesn't need to be that cold. And on the palate, it has terrific intensity of flavour. Wow, and the acidity really drives that flavour along beautifully. And it echoes the nose. It's got that toasty, smoky character from the barrel ferment, and it's got all those citrusy and tropical flavours from the fruit itself. It's very dry on the finish. There's no sweetness there. It's a very serious wine. Good length of palate, good balance. I think the oak is less evident on the palate than it is on the nose. It's a sign that wine will age well. I think it will age well, and the oakiness will become even more integrated into that wine with a bit of age. Beautiful now, but even better in 2 or 3 years, I believe. That's certainly how I would taste it. So how do we rate this wine? Well, we scored at 95, which is a gold ribbon score. And as such, it was a top rank wine. It was rated number 2 out of 26 Sauvignon Blancs from Margaret River in the vintage 2019. So a very high level indeed. And as far as drinking dates, we've said drink it now until 2025. That's only 4 years hence, so I think it'll go quite a bit longer than that if you cellar it well. And it all comes down to how you like to drink your wine, really. Do you like the fresh fruitiness, or do you like a bit of complexity from age in the wine? I would be going for the latter. I drink it between now and say 10 years hence, no problem. So we always ask the winemakers what food match they would put with this wine, and the comment about the winemaking team is actually longer than the food match comment. The winemaking team includes Keith and Claire Mugford, who are the owners, the assistant winemakers Alex Coltis, Hugh Mugford and Tristan Mugford. So the sons of the owners are now on board in the winemaking team. So the food match. They've said a burnt butter, sage and marron gnocchi dish. So in other words, gnocchi with marron, burnt butter and sage, if I could turn that around a little bit. The other option they've put up is seared scallops. So yeah, that would all be excellent, I think, with this wine. Cheers.